Hi Cancer, happy early birthday to those of you celebrating June, and this is your June 2021 love reading. Thanks to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's why I call it Bridging the Gap Spread, and the way it works is the cards on the left side represent your energy toward the connection with your main love interest. Cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection. Take a look at the past energies, present energies, future energies. Once we get through all those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Tarot Sexual Magic. Also keep in mind that it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy, but if you feel like the cards on the right represent your energy and the cards on the left is the other person, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have the Princess of Staves, which is the equivalent of the Page of Wands. And we have the Queen of Arrows, which is the equivalent of the Queen of Swords, which is Libra energy. So, especially just looking at the actual artwork itself, themselves forever for both cards, and then actually looking at the way that they're both pointing away from the cards on the side, I feel like this is saying that, you might have had some flirtations with this person, but you might have pulled away. So I feel like you might have put yourself out there a little bit, just some light flirtation, maybe to see how they would react to it. But I feel like, at that point, you were kind of waiting for them to reciprocate. For some of you, you might have even just flat out, flirted a little bit, but then ran away from the connection for whatever reason. But that's what I'm seeing there. Maybe because you were like hoping for them to chase you, basically. All right, past energy on their side, we have the Two of Pentacles, so this is Capricorn energy. Three of Swords, which is Libra energy, and Three of Wands, which is Aries energy. So interestingly enough, these are all cardinal energies, which usually represent taking action. But what stands out to me here is with the Two of Pentacles. In traditional tarot, it usually represents, we see the person trying to juggle the two pentacles, but here it always stands out to me where it looks like there's that level of shyness, right? Where it's like he's approaching her to touch her, but it seems like he's just really reluctant and a bit awkward around it. So it could just be saying that, that might have been what their approach was toward you, possibly because they might have still been healing from heartbreak. But, if that's the case, I feel like it's saying that they kind of were in the waiting stage, kind of hoping for things to come back around. So obviously that could have caused an impasse where if you guys were the ones who flirted initially, hoping that they would reciprocate, seems like they might have still been healing from something, so they might have been hoping for you to continue to take the lead in that regard. That's kind of what I'm picking up on there. All right, present energy on your side, we have Desire, which is the equivalent of the Chariot, which is the major arcana card for your sign. And we have the Three of Cups, which is also Cancer energy, and the King of Coins, which is Taurus energy. So for some of you, this could just be saying that this might have been a friend, someone that you were friends with initially. Maybe that was where the flirtation came in, where you're like, I don't know if I should because we're friends. So there could have been like a little bit of reluctance on your part. But it does look like this might have been a friendship that you guys might have decided you wanted to take to the next level, turn it into something more stable. Now, for some of you, this could be someone that might have been at a distance from you too. So I looked at this kind of like you guys may be flirting and running away, but it could just be saying that maybe you guys didn't live in the same city or something along those lines. But it looks like there could definitely be an energy of you guys reuniting in the present. Could be as simple as Mercury retrograde too. We're going to have Mercury retrograde in June, so it could just be saying that they might come back around. But either way, definitely does look like a celebratory energy, and there's the potential for it to turn into something stable this time around. All right, present energy on their side, we have the Lovers, which is the major arcana card for Gemini, and we have Death, which is the major arcana card for Scorpio. So, almost can't get any further apart with two different cards, right, as far as the energies behind them. But I do have to say, this could just be going back to what I was saying with the whole stability thing. For some of you, this could just be saying that if they've been trying to decide between two options, this could finally be when they make up their mind, as far as which way they want to go. Um, Let me see what else comes to mind with this. And keep in mind, we're gonna not only we can have the Mercury retrograde in Gemini, but it's also eclipse season, so it could be some intense energies there. So this definitely can lead to some endings. Now, for the majority of you, given what I see on your side, I feel like this is saying that if there was anything else going on, that it would be they would be ending a connection with another person, or possibly even just putting, like I was saying, if they weren't over someone from their past, this could finally be when they finally get over that person and they're actually able to move forward. That's another way I could see that playing out. I do have to say, for a very small percentage of you, if there's some kind of third party dynamic going on, which I really don't pick up on here overall, but if that were the case, you might want to watch out for that because this is pretty intense energy in that regard. All right, and future energy on your side, we have the Five of Staves. So this is Leo energy here, and usually this can represent some conflict and competition, but it always stands out to me in this deck how they definitely look a lot more lighthearted as far as the energy here. So I feel like it'd be more of a bantering type thing. I do have to say though, for some of you, keep in mind, like we were saying, there is the Mercury retrograde energy. And on top of that, Mars is going to move into Leo. So this represents the first 10 degrees of Leo around the middle of June. Right about the same time you guys are going to have that new moon eclipse in your 12th house. So just be on the lookout for the potential for misunderstandings that, could escalate into something. But like I said, with this deck in particular, the Five of Wands doesn't give me a huge, heavy energy behind it. Could just be where maybe you guys might have an argument, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. But at least, if you wanted to try to avoid that ahead of time, then that would be a good time to watch out for as far as when any energies might bring that up. All right, future energy on their side, we have the World. 10 of Wands, which is Sagittarius energy, and the Ace of Wands. So, yeah. I mean, like I said, it definitely seems like they're ending something. So, whether it's just an emotional ending where they finally put that past situation behind them, or if there was physically still, they were trying to decide between another person and you, looks like they could finally be making that decision this month. And 10 of Wands, Sagittarius energy, at times we tend to view this as like in traditional tarot, for example, it could represent a bit of a burden type energy, but here it's not necessarily that. I feel like it's just representing them putting in work. And with the Ace of Wands, obviously we see like a heavy level of attraction too. We see the two fire, the two silhouettes in the fire there, and then obviously those two. So it definitely looks like there's a lot of passion in the connection between the two of you. So it could just be saying that now this is when it finally, could take place in the physical, basically, because like I said, it definitely looks like this person was still processing something from their past. Even up till the present, it looks like they might still be doing that, but that's what I see there. All right, and bottom of the deck on your side, we have the 10 of Arrows. So this is Gemini energy here, and it can represent endings, but, it always stands out to me with this deck in particular that we see the 9 arrows together, which makes me think of the 9 of Arrows or 9 of Swords energy, which represents anxiety, right? Losing sleep. But then there's that one arrow by itself. And so that makes me think of the Ace of Arrows energy. So for the majority of you, I feel like this is saying that you guys would be getting out of your head around the situation and finally having the clarity as to whether or not you want to move forward with this person. So in that regard, like I was saying with that Gemini new moon eclipse we're going to have around mid-month, you might get some clarity as to whether or not you do want to move forward for sure. And for most of you probably will, because underneath that I see the Two of Cups, which is actually Cancer energy. So this could even be a timeline thing too, saying that toward the end of June, which is when we'll be in those first 10 degrees of Cancer, that could be when you guys finally get things off the ground. And of course, the Two of Decks in this Two of Cups, or ever in this deck in particular, always stands out to me as far as, we see that stormy background, so it's not like the happy-go-lucky type environment we're used to with the traditional tarot. So could just be saying that it might have been a bit of a bumpy ride for you guys for a while, but there is that potential for a fresh start. Bottom of the deck on their side, we have the King of Swords. So this is Aquarius energy here. And, primarily it could just be saying that this person might have come across as pretty detached to you in the past. And like I said, if that's the case, it looks like they were definitely still healing from their own situation. So that's most likely the reason why. I don't necessarily see them coming across that way in the future. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of passion on their side on the future. So yeah, like this is just saying you might have felt like they were pretty detached, and if that's the case, that was probably why. Just still going through a healing process. All right, moving on to your oracle cards. First, we'll see if we get anything from Aqua Moonlight deck here. I did pre-shuffle this deck, and what I'm looking for is just some jumpers. So first, I'll be looking for unspoken messages from you to them, then from them to you. If I shuffle for a while without anything coming up, I'll just move on to the next oracle deck. But sometimes we get additional messages here. All right, nothing there, so we'll see if we get any from them to you now. Almost had one there. Oop, got one, but it fell, so let me go pick that up and we'll see what it was. Okay. All right, so we have sadness. There we go. It says, I feel like I've lost you and I'm not coping well with it. So, interesting message there for their side because, like I said, if anything, it seemed like you guys might have been the ones who kind of ran away a bit. But to be fair, I guess that would make sense too, as far as if because they were still going through a healing process, right? So they weren't coming toward you with that Two of Pentacles energy. They were just still going through the healing process. You know, they might have tried to convince themselves and stay hopeful that, oh, you know, cancer will be back around. But underneath it all, they might have actually feared that, oh, maybe they took too long, right? Because they were going through their healing process. So that's primarily what I'm seeing with that one. But hopefully that resonated with you guys. And then next we'll pull a card from the Wisdom Oracle deck here. Same situation as far as I pre-shuffled this deck as well, but I'm just looking for one card here with general advice and we'll wrap up. Alright, nothing's coming up, so I'll put the deck down and we'll pull a card. So give me a few seconds to tune in and we'll pull one. Okay, we'll go here. Alright, we have Blessed. There's the artwork, and the number is 22. So we'll see what that has to say. Okay, it says, something wonderful that is unearned and unexpected, grace that is an unforeseen gift from Spirit. The Oracle's message. There are moments in life when, out of the blue, it seems that everything has been orchestrated by divine intervention. You feel blessed in ways that are difficult to express. It's as if the Red Sea parts in front of you and events come together to banish your troubles easily and naturally. You know deep down you did not deserve any of it, and yet here you are. This is one of those times. Let awe and gratitude for all your blessings guide you now. So definitely a pretty positive message there, and I can see that energy coming through in the present, like we said with the desire energy. For some of you, might even be a little bit further down the line since we did see the Two of Cups, the bottom of the deck. But pretty positive message there either way. The relationship message says you are moving toward a deepening of intimacy and a unique and sacred partnership. You know you are meant to make this connection. This union, blessed by the divine, will bring transformation and beauty to the world. This is also a sign that, even more important, you're being called to a deeper intimacy with yourself and spirit. With this new development, you will see evidence of grace in your life. So, pretty positive message there. With the deepening of intimacy, I could see that as far as, like I said, it looks like this person was definitely a bit closed off in the past, possibly even still now. But in the future, like we said, with all that passion and energy, it looks like they will be opening up. So, hopefully that resonated with you guys. We'll wrap up there. Once again, happy early birthday to those of you who celebrate in June, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.